friends, welcome to my channel. I decided to come and make a bit of a more formal video today to kind of introduce myself because people are starting to watch some of my videos, people are starting to ask me for advice on having a crystal business and ordering crystals wholesale. So I wanted to come on and do kind of a comprehensive video of all my advice for running a crystal business and kind of introduce myself a little bit because I've never done that on my channel. So a little about myself. I'm Emily, I am 24 and I just graduated with a degree in geology this year. I began my small business adventure in June of 2018. I started selling my art and prints and stickers and such on Twitter. I had always been interested in selling crystals, but I had never really thought of it as a possibility for me. I'm not sure why. I just didn't know how to go about it. It seemed like a huge investment, so it had always been something I had dreamed of, but I never really decided to do it. So around 2019, I had been having my small business selling art for about a year. I decided that I wanted to try and learn how to sell crystals alongside my art, especially since I have a crystal painting series. I thought it would be really cool and unique to have my painting series and sell matching crystals along with that. So I am fortunate enough to have a huge crystal warehouse in my area. So they allow wholesale, but I had no idea how to do that yet. So I had just gone to the crystal store, bought a couple of pieces, like maybe a bag of tumblestones and a couple of pieces from my crystal store, full price, absolutely no wholesale discount, and I would sell them on my Etsy shop for just a couple dollars more than I bought them for, which I was making no profit. It was definitely not the way to go, but I didn't know anything else. So I was doing that for a little bit. I would only have crystals like every couple months on my website. I finally did some research and figured out how to actually wholesale order from China. So I started doing that, and that is what you will see in my February unboxing video. That's like right when I started ordering wholesale from China, so I was kind of knowing what I was doing, but I was definitely not a crystal business yet. I was still really focusing on my art, and I would sell crystals every so often. So in around April of this year, 2020, I decided to just go for it, sell crystals full time. I did a complete rebranding and I opened my business Cosmic Geology, which is what I'm doing right now. I am selling crystals on my website full time. I'm completely a crystal business now. I still do sell my art every so often, but for me personally, selling my art was really not the way to go for my full-time business. It's just kind of depressing to me to market my own art and like force people to look at it and struggle to get sales. It just made me feel really down about my own art, having to push it to people like that. So selling crystals is much more my business style, and doing art on the side has really helped me actually enjoy my art more instead of having to feel like it was a job. So yeah, I am running Cosmic Geology full-time now. So I've had a little bit of advice sprinkled into my unboxing videos, but I decided to make a bit of a more comprehensive video of all the advice in one place that I can direct people to. I also did a video of last year, about like November of last year, of a small business tips video, which is now privated on my channel because my business has grown and changed so much since then. So I noticed recently that one of my unboxing videos from earlier this year, I think it was my very first one ever actually, is starting to get actually some views and some comments. I've noticed a lot of people asking where I get my crystals from and some advice on how to start a crystal business. I've also noticed some kind of rude comments insinuating that I was being selfish in that video for not sharing my supplier information, and there's two main reasons why I didn't share any information in that first unboxing video that I've ever done, and that is because, one, I never thought people would be watching my videos. Like, I've only made a YouTube channel for fun. Right now I have around 160 subscribers, so it's definitely not something I was putting a ton of effort into because I never thought someone would watch my videos and especially not look for information. And 2, back in February, I was not even a crystal business. It had never crossed my mind to make a video giving advice on crystal business because I didn't have a crystal business. I was definitely in no place to be giving advice to people. I was just kind of ordering crystals every so often to put on my website. Like, it was casual. I was not a crystal business yet, so yeah, that is why I had not been giving information in my previous videos, but now that I know that's what people are looking for, I'm happy to give you some advice and share what I've learned. So to address some of the comments that I was getting on my unboxing videos, kind of thinking that I was being selfish or not wanting to help other small businesses by not disclosing my suppliers, I just wanted to mention that for many small businesses, this is their full-time job. They have spent months or years doing the research and putting in the work and building relationships with their suppliers. Small businesses do not have to give away all of their information to just anyone who asks. I personally have never gotten a supplier from another small business. All of the suppliers I use now or have ever used, I have found them myself. I have done hours, months of research. I have done trial and error with suppliers, and even after all that research, I am still learning. There are still some crystals that I don't have in my shop because I don't have a supplier for them, because I'm still learning. In my opinion, it's really important if you're looking to start a business that you're able to do some things on your own. I think researching is really important in finding out exactly what works for you in your business, because it will never be the same for everyone. I think 2 things that are really important as a small business owner, as a crystal business owner specifically, are to do the research for your suppliers and for your pricing. I think those are 2 things that no one can figure out for you. I think those are personal to you and your business. It's not a good business move for anyone to give away the exact blueprint of what makes their business unique. If everyone got their information from the exact same places and everyone had the exact same suppliers, then there would be no point in having your own business. Everyone would be the same. I think it's important to do your research, make your business unique, but I'm happy to give tips and advice for anyone who's looking to start their own crystal business and point you in the right direction of where to find suppliers at. So I'm definitely no expert on crystal business or business in general because, like I said, I've only been doing it since earlier this year, but I figured that I would come and give some advice to people who are looking to start from scratch just like I did. I'm sure there are people out there who have way better information than me, but this is just what I personally do and what I have learned in my few months of running a crystal business. To get right into the questions that everyone is asking, which is where do I get my crystals? So maybe other people do this differently, but for me personally, I know some great ways to find wholesalers are through Facebook groups, Instagram, and in-person events. So I personally have never bought wholesale at an event yet, but I am looking forward to going to the Tucson Gem Show in 2021, so I will share with you guys how that goes once it happens. But I know there are some other great huge gem shows where suppliers will go and you can buy wholesale from them, such as the Tucson Gem Show, the Denver Gem Show. I'm sure there's a lot more. There's also crystal stores. I'm lucky enough to have a crystal wholesale warehouse that I can buy in person and pick individual pieces for my website, which is super nice. But for those kinds of in-person events, you will need a tax ID number and a business license. So if you don't have those in-person options, you can use Instagram or Facebook to find your suppliers. I know a lot of people use Facebook groups. You can search for them. Search crystal wholesale groups, I guess. I have never personally joined a crystal Facebook group because I don't really like to use my Facebook for that, but I know a lot of people do have some luck on there, and you can connect with other crystal shops too. So most of my suppliers come from Instagram. There are so many suppliers on Instagram. There are hundreds, probably thousands from all different countries where you can find just about everything that you are looking for. They are definitely not hard to find. If you even follow other crystal pages or like pictures of crystals, they will probably go into your DMs and ask you to do business with them. So you hardly even have to look, like they will come to you. A good way to get started on looking on Instagram is to look in the hashtags, such as if you were looking to buy amethyst, you can go under hashtag amethyst and search through the tags. suppliers will have tagged the products that they are selling, and once you find a supplier account, you can go through their page and see what other products they have. So once you find a supplier that has multiple items that you would like, you can go ahead and send them a message and start communicating with them. Ask them questions, ask them about their prices. Most suppliers will sell by the kilogram, which is around 2 pounds, so you'll have to buy 1 kilogram of each product minimum. Some stores will also have a minimum kilogram, such as 5 to 10 kilograms, or a minimum price that you have to spend, such as $600. So just be aware that there may be some requirements that you have to meet in order to order from them. I personally have never had to supply a tax ID or proof of business license to any international online sellers, but it is a good thing to have, so make sure you get that anyway. Some wholesalers on Instagram will also do Instagram live sales where they will show off individual pieces and you can buy them at wholesale prices. This could be a good option if you are not looking for a full kilogram of each product, like if you're just starting and you want a small amount, or if you want to pick them individually. The live shows can be a good way to do that. Always make sure that you pay through PayPal when you are ordering from international suppliers, just because PayPal has the buyer-seller protection so that you can't get scammed, and if anything happens, you'll be able to get your money back. People ask me a lot how to make sure that your supplier is trustworthy, and I would just say make sure that you have good communication with them and make sure to always buy through PayPal. I have never personally had a situation where a supplier has been a scammer or I've had a bad experience, but definitely be careful. I would say if a supplier won't send you pictures of your products, or it takes a while to respond, or can't answer your questions, or maybe doesn't have a ton of followers, I would maybe pass on that. Those could be red flags. And there's plenty of suppliers out there, so there's no need to settle. You can find someone who will meet your needs. A lot of people think that if you are buying from international shippers from the kilogram, that you are just ordering blind and you don't get to pick your pieces, but that does not have to be the case. I almost always know the exact crystals that I'm getting before they come, because either the supplier will send me pictures or I will ask for them. So you are able to get pictures before you get your products to make sure that you like them. Suppliers should be happy to send you pictures of the product. Like, as much as you want your crystals to be nice for your shop, suppliers also want to make sure that you are happy so that you are a returning customer. So make sure you communicate with them clearly with what exactly you want. Another thing about communication is to make sure you are clear about the sizes and quality of crystals that you are looking for. If there is something specific that you want, such as towers can come in many different sizes, spheres can come in many different sizes. For example, one of the first times I ordered, I got some spheres, and for 1 kilogram, I got 1 huge sphere and 2 tiny little marble-sized spheres. So sometimes if you get a kilogram, it'll be like 6 of the same sized spheres. Sometimes it'll be 1 huge sphere. So if you're looking for something specific, make sure you let them know and get a picture so you can be sure that you're happy with your crystals before they arrive. I've also seen some people say that ordering from China can be iffy, but personally I disagree. People say there's a lot of fakes out there, which there are, but I think that's why it is important to just be educated on the crystals that you're looking for, so you can spot fakes and you will know that what you're getting is real, regardless of where you get it from. Ordering from China can be a great way to get a lot of crystals from one supplier for great prices. You can also find suppliers that are directly in the country that the crystals are mined from, such as calcite from Pakistan, amethyst from Brazil, or chrysocolla from Peru. So you can also find suppliers like that on Instagram, which will have fewer options, but the crystals come directly from where they are mined from, which can give you a better price. I think one of the most important parts about running a crystal business is being very knowledgeable about the crystals that you're selling. There are a lot of fakes and heat-treated crystals and man-made crystals on the market, and you want to be able to spot those. You don't want to sell man-made crystals or heat-treated crystals as natural to your customers, so it's really important that you are knowledgeable about the properties of the crystals before you're buying them. There's also a language barrier sometimes with international sellers, especially from China, where sometimes crystals are just mislabeled, so you want to be able to know what the crystals are regardless of what they are named from the supplier. such as blue calcite and celestite are two crystals that are very commonly mistaken for each other. So it's important to know the properties so that if something is labeled as celestite, you know if it's not actually celestite. It's really important to make sure that you're selling authentic crystals that are properly labeled so that you don't ruin the trust between you and your customer. There are so many crystal stores out there that if a customer is unsatisfied or didn't get what they were looking for, they can easily find someone else. So you don't want to ruin that trust with your customers. I've noticed recently that a lot of my customers are actually very new to crystals and they don't know the basics. Like, you might think that someone would know what a heat-treated crystal is, but I know back when I started buying crystals, I bought multiple heat-treated amethysts sold as citrine because I didn't know how to spot the differences. So you want to be clear with your customers about if something is heat-treated or man-made. Some people might not mind those crystals, so there's nothing wrong with selling heat-treated or man-made crystals as long as you are very clear about that's what they are, such as opalite. I personally don't sell opalite because it is a man-made glass. It is not a true opal. Another example of a man-made crystal is goldstone and blue goldstone. Those are both man-made and not natural, which is another thing that I did not know when I first started, so it's really important to be clear with that. So next, now that you have your crystals, it's important to have a strategy on how to price them. When I very first started ordering crystals, before I had a business, when I was just selling them for fun sometimes, I would just price them out of thin air, like, oh, I think this one should be $20, and like, don't do that. It made no sense. I don't know why I did that. So now I have a standard markup that I use for all of my crystals, give or take. Some is a little less, some is a little more. But, so for example, if you buy a kilogram of towers for $30 a kilogram, you will multiply that $30 by your markup, for example, 4 times if that's what you choose to do. So 30 times 4, and then price each piece according to that price per kilogram. Also, make sure that you take into account the shipping cost that you will pay from the supplier. Shipping international is very expensive. I have paid up to $400 or more to ship a order to me. So make sure you are calculating that price back into your prices so that you are not losing money and taking that out of your profit. If you are ordering international crystals, expect to spend at least $100 on shipping. I've seen some discussion about marking up your crystals too much being scamming your customers, but make sure that you are not scamming yourself as well. You are putting a lot of time into your business. You are ordering crystals, packaging them, unboxing them, taking pictures, listing them on your website. You are putting a lot of work into your business. You need to make sure that you are paying yourself too. It is always great to give your customers the best price that you can, but make sure you're also paying yourself for all the work that you're putting in. I like to use Etsy sometimes to see what other people are pricing their crystals at, especially if I'm buying something new that I've never had in my shop before. I like to see what other people are pricing it at so I can make sure it is in a good range and I'm giving my customers a good price. So the next super important thing about selling crystals is your product pictures. You want to make sure you are showing the crystals off the best that you can. Natural lighting is ideal for crystals. Make sure you have a nice setup, make sure things look vibrant and enticing. Having a good product picture can really make or break your sale. A lot of shops will have the same crystals, so you want to make sure that your product pictures really make your products stand out. Another important thing about product pictures is make sure you don't over edit or over filter your pictures so that customers are getting something that they weren't expecting, such as don't increase the saturation of your product pictures so that the crystals look brighter, because then your customer will be disappointed when they actually get it. I've seen a lot of filtered product pictures, and just make sure that you are being honest with what your crystals actually look like so that your customers are not disappointed. Now that you have crystals priced out and taken pictures of, it is important to choose a good website that works for you. Personally, in my business, I have used Etsy, Big Cartel, and Shopify. So let's start with my favorite, which is Shopify, which is what I currently use for my website. I pay $30 a month for my Shopify, and I believe that is the cheapest plan that they offer. But Shopify is amazing. It has more analytics than you ever knew you needed. It is so customizable. It is just amazing. I have no problems whatsoever with Shopify. Another great thing about Shopify is there is a Shopify app store where you can connect different add-ons to your website. You can also connect Shopify to your Instagram, and you can tag your website products on your Instagram posts, which makes it super fun and easy for your customers to buy things from you. You can also connect your Facebook and your Instagram and your Shopify all together into one shop. The other website I have used and loved is Big Cartel. Big Cartel is a little bit cheaper. I believe I used a $20 plan when I had it for 100 listings. So I think there's a cheaper plan which is $10 a month, and I think there might even be a free plan for maybe a couple products. But Big Cartel is another amazing website platform. I had no problems with it when I used it. It just has less customizable options, and it does not have all the analytics that Shopify does. So if you're just starting out on your own website or looking for something a little simpler, Big Cartel is a great option. And lastly is Etsy, which I personally did not like using. Etsy can be great for some people. If you are starting from absolute scratch, Etsy can be great to get exposure because you can pay to promote your listings on their website. If people are searching for rose quartz, they can find your listing within all the other listings. If you have your own website that is isolated, it won't be as easy for people to discover you. There's a new thing on Etsy where if you offer free shipping on your products, they will promote your listings for free, which can be great if you are able to offer free shipping. But if you are not able to offer free shipping, then that means your listings can be at the bottom of the search, which a lot of people are not happy about because not everyone can offer free shipping. Etsy does also have a lot of fees, which was my problem when I used them. So if you do use Etsy, just beware that there are a lot of fees. Make sure you factor that into your prices. It is completely free to use technically. There's no monthly fee, but there's a listing fee, there's a selling fee, there's a lot of fees. When I used Etsy, actually after I closed my Etsy shop, they had charged me over $200 for advertising that I never signed up for. So that was very sketchy. Like, I had closed my shop, they charged me $200 and said they had been advertising my shop, but I never turned on advertising, I never got a sale from it, and they would not refund me. So that is what tipped me off from using Etsy, and now I steer clear from it. But I know as a buyer, Etsy is really nice, but as a seller, it's not the best. A lot of crystal stores also use Instagram Lives as a way to sell their crystals as opposed to on their website. If you go live, you can set up an area where you show off all of your crystals at once and people can watch and claim right off the live sale. It does take up a lot of time and it is a lot of work to put together a live sale. I've only done 2 of them and they can be fun, but they are a lot of work. It is important to advertise your live sale in advance so that people will show up and watch it as it's happening. So if you don't have a ton of followers, it might not be very beneficial for you to spend your time doing a live sale just yet. After the live sale, you also have to spend time sending invoices to the people who claimed during their live sale. It is also possible that some people will not pay their invoice and you will have to block them from the live, so that can be a waste of your time, but usually that does not happen very often, but it's just something to be aware of. If you do live sales, it can be a way to sell a lot of things very quickly, so make sure you are prepared to sell out a bunch of your inventory at once. Personally, for my website, I do weekly updates every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I add new products to my website. I think it is important to be updating your site or your Instagram page wherever you are selling so that you constantly have new stuff in. Even if it's just a couple new products a week, I think it's important to keep people checking instead of just advertising the same pieces over and over again. Another very important part of running a business is making sure that you are packaging and shipping efficiently. I just learned this, and maybe I'm dumb and everyone else already knew this, but you can get free shipping boxes from the USPS website. You just order them, they have a bunch of sizes, and they will deliver them to you for free. So that has saved me a ton of money since I've discovered that. I also get different size shipping boxes from Amazon. I get those in bulk. And I also get shipping mailer envelopes in bulk from Amazon. I buy them in a 250 pack. So if you can afford to make that investment, it is good to buy in bulk so that the individual cost of each envelope is cheaper. I also recommend using pirateship.com to buy your labels. It is a free website where you get discounted shipping labels. You just have to put in your customer information and print them yourself. I personally use pirateship.com and a Rollo printer, which is a thermal label printer. It does not require ink, and you can link your Shopify, Pirate Ship, and your Rollo printer together. So it automatically imports your customer's information into Pirate Ship and prints it off on your Rollo printer. Using this method has saved me so much time and money on shipping. It is now the easiest part of packaging orders for me. There is another website, which is stamps.com. Some people like stamps.com, but personally I could not recommend it less. I hated using stamps.com. It was difficult, it was confusing. They charged me a ton of money, even though apparently you can use it for free. The website was confusing, it was awful, I hated it. Pirate Ship is so much easier. Another thing that I find to personally be important for packaging your orders, it's definitely not a requirement, but it is something to think about, is making your packages look fun, unique. Make your packages look like something you would like to receive in the mail. It's always fun to get a package, so you want the experience of buying from your business to be something exciting for your customers. Personally, I use packaging stickers, or I just recently got a custom stamp of my logo made. I believe their on Twitter is Magnolia Studio 4, and they did an amazing carving stamp of my logo, which I can now stamp onto my packages to make it a little more personalized. It's also important to get business cards and or thank you notes. I currently don't have business cards just because I have not designed them for my new business yet, but I do have thank you cards with my art on them. Sometimes I also include free little goodies in my orders, such as stickers or a little crystal, especially to customers who are regulars, because I really want to show appreciation for the people who continue to support my business. So for business cards, thank you notes, stickers, all of that, I use vistaprint.com. I think they're amazing. They always have good deals, so you can get things for super cheap. So definitely check out vistaprint.com for any sort of printing need. Other websites used for printing, which you might not need, but these are just two websites I recommend from when I was in art business, is printkeg.com if you ever are making prints of something such as your art, and stickerapp.com for making stickers. I know Sticker Mule is another popular sticker making company, but personally I do not like to give them my money because they are supporting Trump, and that is just not an organization I would like to give my money to. So I can confidently recommend Sticker App to you. They have such amazing options and they're so customizable. You can get holographic glitter. The prices are so good. So those are just two other printing things that you may need. But yeah, along the lines of making your packaging unique, it's also important to make your business as a whole something unique that stands out. There is so much competition in the crystal selling world. There are so many small businesses that you really need to make something about your business stand out and be different from others. For me personally, I think my special thing for my business is that I really like to combine the geology, the spiritual, metaphysical properties of the crystals with crystal art, because I do have my crystal painting series, so I really like to combine all three of those things together to make a unique perspective to my crystal business. So it is important to find your thing that really sets you apart. But for marketing your business, this is something I am still learning, but I started out on Twitter, which I think is an amazing platform, especially for small businesses. There's such an amazing artist, crystal, small business community on there of people who are happy to support you and your business. Twitter is a great place to grow because people can retweet your posts and it can reach a larger audience very quickly. Instagram is also amazing, especially if you use Shopify and link your page so that you can tag products. I think that's such a fun feature. I have started doing that recently and I've really gone crazy tagging all my products in my pictures. Instagram is also great if you have good product pictures because it's such a visual app that you could really draw people in just with amazing pictures of your pieces. I've also recently started expanding to Facebook a little bit more. I recently realized how many people are on Facebook as opposed to something such as Twitter, which is technically a much smaller platform. Most people in the real world don't use Twitter, so I think Facebook is a good way to reach older people and just people who might not have other social medias. So that is something I am working on. You can tag your products on Facebook too if you have Shopify. The last thing I would like to mention is that since you are running a business, make sure that you keep taxes in mind. I am definitely no expert on doing your taxes. I still don't really know what I'm doing because my first tax season is coming up. Keep in mind that as a small business, you will have to pay taxes either quarterly or at the end of the year in one payment. So make sure you are putting aside a savings from your sales so that you can pay that when the time comes. Make sure you have a business license. You can get your business license online, and make sure you get your tax ID number, which you will need to buy wholesale from in-person wholesalers and some international wholesalers. You can get the tax ID number, I believe, from the IRS, but the business license varies by your state. So just keep taxes in mind. Make sure you are reading up on your tax rules and saving and preparing for that bill, just so you are not shocked when tax season comes around. So yeah, I think that is everything that I wanted to cover. If you have any more questions, please let me know. I hope that helped you a little bit if you are looking to start your crystal business from scratch. I think that really covers everything that I wish I had known when I had first started. As I said, I am not an expert. I am still a beginner. I've had a business less than a year, but these are some things I have learned so far. So yeah, if you want to see me do any other videos, or if you have any more questions, please comment below. Please like this video if you have watched this far. I would really appreciate it. Also, check out my website, which is cosmicgeology.com, if you want to see what I have in my shop. My Instagram is Cosmic Geology, my Facebook is Cosmic Geology, and my Twitter is Emily Hardknock. So if you are interested in seeing what I have, go check me out over there. And that is all. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something, and have a good day.